You're listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Keith. Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Ready for Love After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Ready for Love After Show.
I love that we start with this every day.
I know.
Ready for love.
I miss Ready for Love.
Right? We're glad to have you back.
And I'm glad to be here, but it's just you and I.
It's just the
We're
two of
always
us.
missing someone.
Hey everyone, Being is for doing, and we are doing our 8th after show for Ready for Love. Ernesto Finds Love.
Yay!
Such a good episode.
Oh my gosh, I still have goosebumps.
I know. I watched it back twice afterwards because I was like,
sure.
I can't believe that was real life, that just happened.
That was the cutest thing ever.
Yeah, which we will get to. I'm your host, Samantha Laich, and joining me tonight, Miss Jess is back.
I'm back. I was in France, the Cannes Film Festival, which all of you guys, if you have the opportunity, go, go, go. But yes, I'm Jessica Carroll, and I'm happy to be here.
So happy to have you back. It just hasn't been the same. But we're missing Teryn and Giselle. They'll be back next week, and hopefully we can go out with the whole gang for the finale.
Yes,
That's the plan.
It'll be a great finale, too.
Right? So a little bit of a surprise for you guys. You didn't know that this was coming, but Angela from Ben's Ladies is going to be calling in to chat with us in just a few minutes. So we're going to start off a little bit differently. We're going to talk about Ben, but we're going to talk about his other two ladies first with the Meet the Parents so that we can kind of lead into Angela the right way.
Yes.
But Teryn, Ben went to Folsom, California.
Mm-hmm.
I did not realize that she was an LA girl. Well, kind of LA, California, West Coast. I didn't know where I thought she was from.
Yeah, I
but
didn't
so
know
many
either.
people seem to be from Texas on this show that I guess assumed that she was from there,
Texas.
right? And Amber's advice for Teryn was to just let your guard down. Have those soft moments with him, because we saw the previous episode that she's been very guarded.
Yeah.
She has almost been like, I don't
She has
know,
her
like
walls
turned
up.
off.
Yeah.
You know, she hasn't been willing to kind of be comfortable with him. He's most definitely picked up on that. The matchmakers have picked up on that.
Yeah. How are you not comfortable around Ben?
I mean,
He's just so, when he was in
Yeah.
studio, I felt like he was just like, we've been friends for 20 years.
I know he walked through the door and I felt, I mean, obviously we're watching his show, but I
Yeah.
just felt like we went way back.
Yeah.
Like just the nicest, sweetest, most gentleman kind of a guy that how can you not just be drawn to that personality?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But then once we met her parents, we could kind of,
It totally filled in the blanks for
Yes.
us. I was so shocked that they were so standoffish, only for like, I mean, first of all, I think it was a little rude. The way
Yeah.
that it kind of came off when you're welcoming someone in your home. Obviously, you have your walls up and you're guarded because of the situation.
Yeah.
But you also have to keep in mind that you're on TV and there's a stranger coming into your house.
Yeah.
And you need to be, I don't know, be a good host, be a little bit more welcoming, especially since you know how nervous he probably is going into this, you know?
yeah, and I thought because it is a small town, you know, that small town feel that people are always like, oh, so welcoming, and then it was just, you could really tell that as he walked in, he was trying to impress
Yeah.
versus just be himself and
Yeah.
be comforted.
I
by.
don't think that it was at all what he is looking for in a family in-laws.
Yeah, exactly.
But unfortunately, I think the biggest thing, again, we've been saying this all season, but now in particular, like we only have 3 girls
Yeah.
per guy, and we still didn't get to see enough. It was so brief, and it was, you got to know the parents' names, you got to know who everyone was, and then it was like, so what did you like my daughter?
Yeah.
In and out, and then we were on to the next girl.
No, and then we saw like a little bit of their one-on-one time, and Teryn didn't even
Yeah.
get much one-on-one time. And then it was like, boom, next gone.
Yeah, that was it. But I don't think that we really missed out on too much from Teryn State, unfortunately. Not to be rude, but it was just weird. It was the kind of thing, you know, where like Tim even had to ask, "How do you feel about me?" And
Ben.
yeah, did I say Tim?
Yeah.
I take that back. I meant Ben. She was like, how do you feel about me? And she was not willing to express it.
She says, I don't know. I just, like, okay, bad answer. You don't say, I don't know when someone asks you, how do you feel about me?
Especially since this is not week 1.
Right. Like, I think that because this is, down to, like, at this point in the show, she should be putting her guard down and letting him know, that she's there for love.
Right.
You don't have to say, I love you, like, some of the other girls, but it was just awkward. It felt very awkward.
And if you're not going to do it now, then what's the point? Because, you don't have to put your guards down the first couple of weeks. You know that you're kind of still a little protective of your feelings and stuff. But if you don't do it now, then when are you going to do it?
Right.
It's now or really never, because going into next week, he only took 2 girls back to his home.
And he's then going to be down to 1.
Yeah. And then everyone finds love.
Yeah. And also Ben said that, I feel like she's trying to pretend to be someone who I want her to be, instead of just being herself and letting Ben see who she truly is. And I think that also goes back to her family, because her father, she's trying to, always live up to her father's expectations and being that perfect, from that perfect family. But
yeah.
And so I feel like Ben says, okay, just be yourself instead of saying what I want to hear.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of felt bad for Ben too, because from the start he said, we just had this incredible chemistry, this connection, and she was a front runner for him all the way up until, this week. And so for him to have everything on paper, like, for it to be perfect for him and then it to not work out, I really felt bad for him, because you could tell that he wanted Teryn.
Yeah.
He just wanted it to work with her. It just seemed good for him, but it didn't add up and it didn't come together.
And didn't he ask what was the whole deal with Allie, or did he ask Allie?
I think he asked both of them.
Both of them?
Yeah, and Teryn gave a very Teryn-like answer. And when he asked Allie, she answered in her own way as well. She didn't really kind of get into the drama of it, but she basically said, if Teryn's the kind of girl that you like, I'm not for you.
Right.
Which I think was the best way for her to put it, because
they're totally opposite.
Yeah, she didn't criticize her character. She didn't kind of try to bash her. She was just like, that's not who I am. And unfortunately,
so if you like that, then bye.
It sucks for me, because I'm not that.
I do. I think that was the perfect answer.
Yeah.
And I liked that Ben came out and just openly said, listen, what's going on?
Yeah, just to clear the air.
Yeah.
And he went down to Wilder, Kentucky to see Allie. And I thought it was just so cute, the fact that when he got there, because Mandy, obviously, they're twin sisters.
Yeah.
So she was there and he was like, oh, I know you.
Yeah.
So he got to meet the mom and her twin sister and then her younger sister. And it just seemed, I think, out of all of them, I think that it was just the most comfortable that we saw him. He was just very relaxed, and it seemed like home to him.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that this could have been a turning point for their relationship.
For sure.
Because that's what you want from this stage of the episode, or from the show. If you are going to meet their family, that is going to potentially be your family.
Exactly.
So if it's not going to work, if you're not comfortable with it, you're screwed.
Yeah, I think that is for me, family is like everything.
Oh,
so
yeah.
if my family approves and I can see him interacting with my family and laughing and, acting like, okay, they really do like him and he likes them.
Yeah. Oh, I completely agree, because if you think about it the opposite way, if this guy's perfect, chemistry's great, everything's amazing, and then he meets my family and doesn't connect with my family, I feel like all is lost.
Right.
Like, that's a deal breaker.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
to see it kind of just come together for Allie and him was really sweet.
And how they were together on the boat. I just thought that was so nice. And she's like, listen, I chill on the weekends with my girlfriends. And
yeah, and her family was just so excited to meet him. It wasn't like obviously they're still a little on the defense because they don't want Allie to get hurt, but they know that that's a possibility. But they were just excited about the whole thing. They were very, their
hugging.
personality. Yeah, and I think that that's what Ben's looking for at the end of the day. He just wants that, affection and the kind of endearment that family gave from her.
But still, Allie's mom said that what you're doing right now is not reality. Going
Right.
from one place to the next to Hawaii, that's not reality. And once you're done that, are you still going to be interested in my daughter, Allie?
Exactly.
And not just caught up in this, you know?
Yeah. And then there's Miss Angela. Ben went to Houston, Texas, and I believe that we have Angela on the phone right now. Am I right?
Hello, yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So nice
How's
to meet
it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wasn't sure when to chime in. I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna wait.
Yeah,
chimed
we tried to hold off talking about your hometown before we got you on the phone. So
Oh, awesome.
thank you so much for joining us, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think our biggest question that we've kind of been wondering is what was the turning point, main thing that made you originally decide to sign up for the show?
The turning point to do Ready for Love.
Yeah, like what was your ultimate, I mean, how did you hear about it? And then what made you actually say, I'm doing this, this feels right, it's going to be a good move for me?
Well, I certainly, with all the talk of Ready for Love and then The Bachelorette is on right now, a question a lot of people ask me is, did you think you would do something like this? And looking back, I never thought I would do a reality show for love just because of the stereotypes, everything that goes with it. But once I found out of the people involved and it being with NBC and Eva Longoria and having Bill and Juliana Rancic, I felt like it was a good, reputable thing. And then once we learned about the guys and I learned about Ben, then I was at a point in my life where I felt like, why not? So I just decided I'm going to do this. So
you had seen his video and stuff prior to signing up for the show?
Yeah, I was contacted. I competed in Miss Texas USA 2 years ago.
Okay.
And I met someone in casting, in the casting world, and they had already selected the guys. And she and I, we're still good friends to this day, but she had just gone on and on about Ben and was like, oh my gosh, you guys would be such a great match. So I heard about him, but I hadn't seen the video or anything yet. So when I did see the video, it just, I saw what she had been talking about.
Yeah.
And I was really glad that I had chosen to do it.
Well, I have to say, we had been in studio a couple weeks ago, and when we met him, we totally understand where you're coming from.
Yeah. I guessed.
Oh, no way. That's so funny.
When he was in studio, I guessed you. But
Oh, you did?
I just have this feeling it's Angela.
Oh, gosh.
He's a charmer, though.
I am very ready for this week. It's funny because a lot of people are like, oh, my gosh, da-da-da, and the hype because everyone's seeing this now. But truth is, this took place so long ago. And so I think all of us are just, not only ready for love, but we're ready to move on. Just get out what happened. And
right. I mean, how
it's
difficult?
Been a long time coming.
Yeah. How difficult has it been to kind of keep your real life real now? I mean, regardless if Ben picks you, if Ben picks you or not, either way, it's still a secret. Like if he doesn't pick you, it's not like that you can tell people that either. So
right.
Has it been?
Yeah. I mean, even girls. It's funny because although you see some drama in the house, really all of us girls, it felt like a sorority house almost because we were with each other so much, and we do keep in touch. And even the girls that were sent home early on, I mean, everyone has had to, in a sense, cover up their love life, just for the integrity of the show and due to our contracts and everything like that. So,
but you guys all still keep in touch?
It's definitely been a weird thing that where we just can't say anything. And even like my best girlfriends, some of them have no idea. They're like, Angela, come on, tell me. I'm like, I can't.
Yeah, once you tell someone the secret's out, then.
What would you say was your favorite part of just being on the show?
Oh my goodness, there's so many cool things that I loved about being part of this show. I think probably my all-time favorite thing though would be our dates. I mean, like just actually getting to do the dates, because you don't see all the time in between each date. Like we would literally be in this house and be going crazy, and so by the time it's time for our date, we're like, yes, just freedom. So
because you guys couldn't leave the
really
house.
Cool. Like, I'm sorry.
You could not leave the house at all, like in between.
No, we could not. And finally, they let us start to run, because the house we filmed at, which actually Rihanna just bought, for $12 million. So it's really like exclusive street that's kind of uphill, and the only time they'd let us out, aside from the dates and everything, they would let us run up and down the street. So,
oh my goodness.
You're allowed to go down the
so
street.
one of the neighbors would always see, like, because they'd always have production assistants like watching us and stuff to just keep an eye on us. So I get to the end of the street, and this lady's like comes up to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Do you need to use my cell phone? Are you being kidnapped?" And she's like, "I see all this weird stuff going on."
Oh my gosh.
That is actually such a good point, because from an outsider's point of view that doesn't know what's going on,
we have no idea.
they probably think that you guys are held captive.
Yeah, and we weren't allowed to talk to our family, so I thought, maybe I should use their phone. But I was like, no, I'm good. I was like, we're doing a project right now.
That's so funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah.
And we had talked to Shandy last week, and she said by this point in the competition, I guess, if we're loosely using that word, but that you guys were all in the same house for all three guys. So was that a pro for you, or was that a complete con? Because I think Shandy, she said that it was definitely exciting for her to have some more girls in the house. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, it's so funny because Shandy and I were probably the closest when it came to girls, like being in different groups and stuff. Because although we did live in separate houses, when you see the stage nights, like we would all be together getting ready and everything. So her and I really got close. But whenever we did move in, I thought it was more of a pro, because then you had people to talk to who you weren't against.
Right.
And kind of like somebody to vent to who, I mean, it was just a little, obviously you can't talk about things as a girl you're against, so to speak.
Right.
So.
Yeah, I can't see you wanting to like talk about your own date to the girl that went on a date with the same guy as you. So
yeah, you could like talk to someone who's going through the same thing as you, but not with the same guy.
Yeah, exactly. And then it was nice to just compare notes and just once at that point in time, to get to know them. It was great to get to know the other girls and other groups too, because they're really cool.
And what was it like working with matchmakers?
Well, it was interesting. Tracy and I, at first, it's funny editing. I mean,
we've gotten that a lot.
It's so frustrating just through this whole process. Like, even the hometown date this past week, I'm just blown away some of the stuff that they didn't put in. Like, Ben and I went skeet shooting, and my sister wrote this amazing song. She's really talented and sang it, and like they didn't even show my twin brothers or my mom. Like, I'm just like,
whoa,
what the heck?
That's one thing, is I wish we could see more, because even us as viewers, we get so involved and interested in you girls and your connection with Ben that we are just craving more. So I wish we could see like more even unedited scenes, like extra on the website or something.
Yeah, that would be great. Well, but to work with the matchmakers, going back to that point, it was definitely interesting. I've never worked with a matchmaker or somebody who has like critiqued my dating style, really. But like they would give us these weekly tips, and it was almost like we needed to follow them because they had the choice of who they would select to be in the bottom. So, and it was in the fun of the show and putting yourself out there. So, working with Tracy at the beginning, it was a little bit rocky, but we really grew to respect each other. And I think we have a little bit different philosophies on dating, but I mean, she definitely held me up, helped me let my guard down. But the first few weeks, I was a little more quiet than I really am because, who would be completely comfortable in something like that? I mean, it's just,
Yeah, I can't imagine.
Yeah. Not only are you getting direction to do something, maybe wasn't your philosophy, but you're also doing it on television to find your next love. Like, I couldn't even imagine.
And even watching it back, regardless of what you did, the way that they edit it could be completely different and change the circumstances of what actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. So that vineyard date, my challenge that week from Tracy was to do a bold move. So I was one of the last girls in the house to kiss Ben. So I said, well, hey,
I'm going for it.
Well, it worked because he was sold on it. So I have to ask you, because something that was kind of, it was edited at least to be a big topic for you is the fact that you are still a virgin on the show. And I'm curious to know what kind of feedback you've gotten from fans, because I have to tell you, everything that we've got, people have had the utmost respect for that decision and the way that you kind of handled it on the show. So I'm just curious as to how people reacted to you on Twitter or however people are giving you feedback. Was the response good, or did people think you were crazy, or?
No, I obviously going on the show, my faith is a big part of my life and who I am, but it's definitely been, I feel like, the most focused on topic about me. And I would hope that this show had shown there's more to me than just that. It's not like I walk around and that's all I talk about.
Right.
But I've had really great feedback. A lot of girls have messaged me. I set up like a page on Facebook and then through my Twitter, and I literally daily, I get messages from young girls saying, hey, thank you for having the courage. I'm waiting too. And I'm always scared to say, that I don't want to do that. And I've just had really positive feedback. And I just filmed at the 700 Club, and today I was at church and I got called out in front of my whole church. I had to stand up in front of everybody. I was not expecting that, but obviously I understand it's a controversial topic today. It's not that common, but I've talked about this in other interviews where I'm very modern and I'm very social. I go out, but I just know that I want to preserve that for the man that I marry.
Right.
So overall, it's been a really great, feedback from people. So.
Well, I think also you're given a lot of respect because, just like you said, you do go out, you have fun, you go to the clubs, you dance with your girlfriends, you meet cute guys, you flirt, but then you just don't go home with them. And it's a very respectful thing. And you being a virgin doesn't mean that you're a prude or that you just stay in or just go to movies.
Right.
And so I think it's great what you're doing.
Yeah, and the way that you had kind of said it too when you had met Ben's parents, I think you put it so perfectly, just how you told us now, as opposed to just kind of throwing it in like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm a virgin, as if that were just something to flaunt. Like you have such good reasons for it, and the way that you express that, and the way that at least it was edited, so we did get to see that part of the conversation. It just looked like that really meant a lot to them because it showed so much of who you are as a person and showed a lot about your character.
Yeah, well, that was definitely when I met his family. I've never told a guy that I've been dating. I've never told his family that. But it was almost like the way his mom kind of said the question, I was like, wait, does she know? And then I'm being like tested. I didn't know. So I was like, maybe I should just say this here. I don't know. But, his family seemed really receptive of it, and they really respected it, so I was happy to hear that. And I just wanted them to know that I take, honesty and integrity and all that really serious in a relationship, so I had good intentions.
That's awesome. Going back to the girls in the house, just a few more questions, and then we'll let you off the hook. But are there still girls that you keep in touch with from the show? You were saying it's very sorority-like. So are you guys still close, or is there kind of bad blood coming out of it?
I think it's been so long. Like everyone is at a good place with the girls. I'm not gonna lie. Being in the final two, it definitely, the other girls that had gone home earlier, I think, they had started talking whenever they got back home and created a really strong bond. So Allie and I being at the end, we weren't as close with the other girls in our house.
Yeah.
But over time, I've heard from them, and I have absolutely nothing bad to say about any of them. And I think that in the other groups, Shani and I, like I said, have been close, and we've kept in touch, and a few of the other girls in Austin I've run into, but there's definitely no bad blood. Carrie and I, we didn't talk, though, for a while. It was really hard because she said that I was the one girl that she was upset how that ended the most, because actually her and I were the closest in the house.
Oh, really?
And yeah, because we had so much in common as far as mutual friends and same sorority. Like, she's from Austin. I went to UT in Austin, and we were roommates. And
Whoa.
it was just really awkward for me, like, in the house, because I liked her so much as a friend, but then I was like, but wait a minute, like, why am I really here,
Yeah.
So actually her and I didn't talk for a while, and then we kind of like made up, or not made up, but had contact, because there's this group text. And I'd say that was the one relationship that was silent for a while.
I think that at least as a viewer, I feel like that would be a lot of what the girls have to say, that they kind of kept their distance from Carrie a little bit longer than everyone else, but
Yeah.
I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, yeah, I think, like, all of us look back at that, and she's definitely not a bad person. I just think that was like an awkward situation, because if you put yourself in our shoes, if they were gonna work things out, and they show this in the Vineyard Date, then I was happy. Like, okay, then work things out, but then I'm not gonna be there, like, trying and putting, you know what I mean, like, myself out there like this.
Yeah, it was just the situation.
That's what that was all about. And I don't have anything bad to say about her, but yeah, it was really awkward at times.
So what would you say is like the turning point when you were like, all right, I'm like totally falling for this guy, and then you told him, like, what was it, just like you were like, oh my gosh, this is it?
I would say the turning point would be Hawaii. He and I had a really nice time together. I had the last date with him, which, again, I don't know why editing did not show this, but we had, like, this hot tub date and champagne and strawberries. It was really nice. And that was just kind of the first time to be out of the California and just somewhere else, and trying to, like, forget that there were cameras around. At that point, I was starting to kind of forget about him.
Yeah.
Especially once you have
definitely the turning point.
You have to wait around while other girls go on dates with them.
Yeah, you got out of the house.
Exactly.
Do you know anything about rumors of season 2 for Ready for Love? Because at the beginning of the show, when it was still on NBC, they had kind of like casting calls. They were saying, if you're ready for love, sign up on Facebook and stuff like that. So do you know, have you heard anything from the network side?
I have not. I do know that if there was to be a season 2, they'd probably change up the format, just, with how this past season has gone. But I really could not tell you. I would hope there would be, because I think it's a great concept. And it's upsetting the turn that it took after just the third episode when they switched it.
Yeah,
but
right.
I think it's a really great concept and really up to date.
Yeah, I feel like people would actually join this because they are ready for love, and it's not for the bachelor, bachelorette kind of spotlight of it and getting the media around them, but to actually go on and find on the show to find what they're looking for in life. So
And even as viewers,
how do you guys like it compared to The Bachelor and stuff?
well,
like
I was just going to say, as viewers, we actually have learned a lot of tips.
Yeah.
Through you guys and through the matchmakers and even what the bachelors say, because you get 3 different perspectives.
Right.
Of, 3 different types of guys. But like, if you said, like, how would you, or have you liked it?
I've loved it the entire time.
Yeah.
I heard about this back last spring, and you could ask our producer here. I've been hounding about him to do the show ever since. But I love the fact of, like Jess had just said, the matchmakers are there to help you. You know, it's Juliana and Bill, and they're kind of easy to get along with. And just the whole concept of the show, I think, has been really great. And it's something new that hasn't kind of been tainted yet by the media.
Yeah.
Our biggest complaint really has just been that we wanted more content so that we could establish the relationships with our favorite girls and our favorite bachelor out of the 3 earlier on in the season. If we would have had more info, then it wouldn't have been so. I mean, we had 2-hour episodes and we still didn't feel like there was enough because you went into it with 36 different girls, you know?
I completely agree. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so maybe next season if they, I mean, it's nice to see 3 different bachelors, but I think you almost need to focus on just one,
Like
so that
1
you
hour
can,
for one and 1 hour for the other.
yes, so you can establish the relationship with the ladies and figure out who you like out of them.
Yeah, definitely. It's so funny, reality world. You know, my friend Ben Scott is one of the bachelors on the current Bachelorette season right now.
Oh,
Really?
It's hilarious. Yeah, like I haven't seen the first episode, but I ran into him last week, and he's like, you might want to watch ABC Monday. I was like, why? Like, I didn't even know. And he's like, I've been on The Bachelorette.
That is so funny. You guys are going to have to sit
Yeah.
down and compare notes.
yeah.
I know.
Share
Did you
your
guys see
experiences.
that episode?
I saw last week's, yeah.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I was out of
He's
town.
the
but-
one with the Brody as his son.
Oh my gosh. Brody is the cutest thing ever. He
Go
stood
ahead
out
and
to me.
watching it.
Yeah, I mean, it just turned into such a spectacle with the guys doing anything and everything that they could to get Desiree's attention. So it's become that show, unfortunately, I think, which is why we've really been drawn to Ready for Love with the concept.
Well, I was nervous what the first thing to say to Ben because, you know, and I love how the first time we met him, it was behind, like, a wall divided us.
Yeah.
You couldn't see us. And it's funny because they could have one question to ask us after we gave our little spiel. And so, you know, it's kind of like you had 30 seconds to capture his attention or, you know, he's just like,
Just
I don't
gone,
know.
yeah.
Were your nerves just racing?
Oh, yeah. And then I was in this elevator. I'm like, what's going on here? Rising out of a stage.
Yeah, the elevators looked a little interesting, especially since they were supposed to be soundproof and stuff, but just standing in a glass box.
They really were soundproof, though, because there were parts in the season where they would be talking on stage, and I was legitimately like, okay, I'm trying to listen here, and I couldn't hear.
Trying to get, like, the secrets before you knew what happened.
I'm like, what are they saying?
What would you say was the most nerve-wracking part of being on the show?
Definitely Elimination. Whenever it was time for them to announce the bottom girls, when those red lights come on, the music is like,
Those red lights.
Dun, dun, dun.
You're like, oh my gosh. And the first week, I was in the bottom, and I kind of knew it. Like, I kind of felt like, I don't know. I just, with Tracy and I, how it had gone, and I knew it was up to her. And then I barely had any time with him. I just had a feeling like I was going to be the one, but when she actually said my name, I was like, oh my gosh. And so I was really nervous.
How was the garden?
Well, he had the chance to save one girl, so luckily he said, well, I haven't had a lot of time with her, and I'm curious still, so he saved me, and I didn't have to go down into the garden. So
Yeah, you never
I
made
was
it down
really-
there, so that's good.
Yeah. So you still don't know how the garden was.
The garden is scary.
I know. I feel like that's such an interesting word
know.
choice for something that's normally so beautiful and pleasant and lovely, and now you have to go down to the garden to send someone home.
Dun,
Yeah.
dun.
That's very true. I never thought of it that way.
You're not smelling the roses down there. You're
Yeah, I know. It's dark,
quenching your
dark.
hands.
Before we let you go, do you have any regrets about this season, or if you were given the opportunity, would you do it all over again without disclosing what happens next week?
Well, I definitely don't think you should ever regret anything. I think I learned so much from this experience, you know, from day one up until, you know, here we are still today. I'm still learning, you know, things about myself, and just through this whole thing, I would definitely, you know, I'm sure I'd do some things different, but I'm really glad I did it, and I think it's going to be an amazing final episode, so I can't wait for everybody to see it, and just ready for Tuesday.
I know we're anxiously awaiting with
We're
you.
so anxious.
Yeah, my mom's rounding up all her friends. She's like, Angela, we have to do some big watch party or something. I'm just like,
Oh, how
okay. But
cute.
then they all have a million questions, so.
Yeah, you're going to get grilled for sure if you have a viewing party
Yeah.
on Tuesday.
We're gonna have a Ready for
Yeah.
Love party too. Next
Good,
Sunday. Yeah.
awesome. Well, we should all chat after.
For
Oh,
sure.
definitely.
Yes.
We're going to have to get an update from you.
Yes. And I think I'll be in Los Angeles soon because I'm actually launching a jewelry line, and I'm
I was-
working with some people out
I was
there.
just gonna ask you about it's rings, right?
Well, there will be rings too, but it's going to be earrings, necklaces, bracelets, and rings. So it's called One
Awesome.
Love Collection, and it's basically going to be like faith-inspired jewelry that's really trendy. So
Yeah,
I'm really excited.
I saw some of them on a blog or something, and I love the rings that say One Love or
yeah,
I
those
love
are some
those.
of them. So
yeah.
I have a temporary site up right now. I haven't launched the full website yet, but it'll be up soon. So.
Awesome. Well, you'll definitely have to come back and chat. We'll recap Ready for Love, but also so we can chat more about your jewelry.
Yes, when you're in LA, you gotta hit us
awesome.
up.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to.
Perfect. Thank you so much for calling in. We really appreciate it. And regardless of what happens next week, we hope that you're happy, whether it be with Ben or still by yourself or with someone else. We hope that everything worked out well for you. And thank you so much for calling in.
And we've
Guys,
really enjoyed
appreciate
following
it.
you.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you guys. That's really sweet. Okay, great. Well, we'll talk soon.
Okay. Bye, Angela.
Thanks.
Okay. She's the sweetest.
Cutest thing ever. I actually want to go out and meet up with her and hear everything.
I think that we need to make that happen. We need
to.
to do a girls' night out
Yes,
and
with
catch up on
Angela.
Ready for Love.
We met Ben. Now we got to be Angela.
Yeah,
I still
she
think
seems awesome.
She's so adorable.
Well, let's get back really quickly. So the way that the bottom two worked this week, because there were only 3 girls left, the guys got to choose the one girl that he for sure wanted to go home with them, and then the other 2 went down to the garden, and then he chose who to go home from there.
I liked that.
So he picked Angela, thankfully, and he actually made a comment that, thank you for staying out of all of this drama.
Yeah.
She was never involved in any of it. She stayed classy. So Teryn and Allie went down to the garden, and Teryn went home. We saw that coming, and after this episode, I was very excited that she did, because I have to say, the little tiff that she got in with Matt, I was not down for.
No, you don't talk to a boy like that.
The way, I'm sure, like everyone else has said, it was taken,
Editing,
out of context, and the editing kind of buffered it. But the way that they put it together was so brilliant, because she ran her mouth and did exactly what Matt said that she does, and he just had to sit there and be like, thank you for proving my point.
Exactly.
That was it. So she kind of dug her own grave, I feel like, but...
And they're really, after seeing that, each girl, I just really did feel like the connection was not the same compared to Allie and Angela.
Right.
So
I agree.
I just when the two went down, I kind of had a feeling it was going to be Teryn.
Yeah, I agree with you. Let's move on to Tim. But before we do, if you guys have been watching us because you heard that Angela was going to be on and you wanted to get the exclusive for yourself, make sure that you are still going over to iTunes. Click on Ready for Love. Make sure that you subscribe, rate. We're almost done, but we love your feedback, and we love those 5 stars, and we love your comments. So make sure to go over there. Let us know what you think. It helps keeps the lights on here and gives you more shows. So it will be awesome.
Whoa. Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Phil. What's going on?
I just wanted to be on a show.
Come on in.
No, well, I'll stay right here.
Okay.
The camera picks me up. I get my own shot.
Oh.
You know, that way everyone gets their single. Speaking of, well, I don't know. You guys were talking about iTunes, right?
We were talking.
That's my
about
only
it.
tie-in. I don't have any other tie-in to the show apart from that. But on iTunes, there is a brand new movie that just came out, made by Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, our founders here at AfterBuzz TV. And so we urge you to go and download it now. It's called Adventure of the Serial Buddies. You guys really like it. The song we're listening to is from the movie.
It's awesome. I've seen it.
You seen the movie?
Loved it.
There you go. Who's your favorite character? There's a lot of zany characters.
All of them. The whole movie overall, I loved it.
I know. It's the first serial killer buddy comedy of all time.
Yeah.
But it's not as gruesome. At no point do you really think that they're serial killers. They go to pick up girls, so they're ready for love.
Yeah.
There's my tie into the show.
There it is.
And it's got Henry Winkler, it's got Christopher McDonald, it's got Beth Bears from Two Broke Girls, Artie Lang, Christopher Lloyd, Christopher McDonald, and of course Maria Menounos.
She's my favorite.
She's great.
That was my favorite.
She's not ready for love in the movie.
No.
Beth Bears was though.
Yeah.
It's really funny, and one of the reasons why I'm trying to promote this to you guys is because it really does help AfterBuzz. These guys have had so many special guests, including tonight, and at no charge to you, and we're going to continue to keep it that way. But every now and then we ask you guys to do something, and so hopefully go download it. It's only $4.99, very cheap, and spread the word. Adventure of the Serial Buddies out now on iTunes. If you can't find it for whatever reason, which baffles me, but go to serialbuddies.com. There's a link there. Adventure of the Serial Buddies. Thank you guys, and enjoy the music.
Thank you.
Just think next time you go to buy your Starbucks that you could save your $4.99. Help us out because we really appreciate it.
Skip coffee for a day.
Yeah.
You can do it.
It's healthier anyways.
I love what just happened right there.
I do too.
That was awesome.
A little excitement.
Okay, let's move on to Tim really quickly. And then, of course, we need to focus on Ernesto because the title of this episode was Ernesto Finds Love, which is huge for this show.
And like the cutest thing ever.
Yeah. So first, Tim went to Melbourne, Florida to visit Haley's family. Super cute.
Very welcoming, friendly, the hugging.
Yeah, family was very welcoming to him, and I love that she took him to her school, and he got to see kind of her full environment.
And model for the students.
Which I think that this is, Ben told us, a couple weeks ago when we had him on, that Tim's has such a personality.
Yeah.
He's so funny, he's so sarcastic, and it hasn't really come through on the show because of the way that everything's been edited, but I have to say that him being the model totally showed his personality because he was so goofy and just had a good time with it.
And it also showed Haley's confidence. She brought him in front of all her students, show him off. I thought it was the cutest thing.
Yeah, it was really adorable.
Yeah.
Then we went to Jenna's family in Austin, Texas.
How Haley did the card for her dad on his 58th birthday, the 58 reasons why she loves him.
That was really sweet.
I'm totally stealing that idea.
Adorable that her dad had everything framed too.
Know.
The Hall of Fame, I think, is what they were referring to. Jenna's family in Austin, Texas. Her, obviously she's the youngest, so it's kind of interesting to see when he met her family because they have to kind of be like, this is huge for her.
Yeah.
She's still so young. But the biggest thing I think about their date is the fact that we got to see where Jenna wants to get married.
That was cool. That park.
Yeah. You can't open up really more about like your future than that. Like that's a huge, you're on there to find love. You could potentially be marrying this man, and you're showing him like, look, this is where not only do I see
could
myself
walk down
getting
a white dress with you.
Yeah, getting married here, but you could be the guy that I could be doing it with.
And I feel like Tim really liked that.
Yeah, and Tracy wanted him to, or wanted Jenna to show to him how he would really fit like a glove with her family, and I think that worked in that kind of setting. And then to show him that on top of it, it really kind of brought him into her family.
And I liked how when the dad asked him, like, oh, so what are your feelings towards Jenna? He asked the dad back, like, well, do you know how she's feeling? And he's like, oh, secret.
Yeah. He almost tried to like combine teams, and he was like, no, let me still keep this line drawn here because she's still my daughter. But it was cute. And then they went to Mammoth Lake, California to see Sarah's family. And I have to say, this was my favorite date of Tim's because her family was so touched by the entire experience. I mean, we knew how much that this has really meant to her the entire time, but the fact that the family got emotional and was so thankful that he brought their daughter back to them. She had never been back since her fiance or previous fiance passed away. So this was a huge moment for them as a family, I think, together, whether Tim was there or not. But then for her to be so happy with him just really kind of made everything fit well together.
Yeah, for them to say, like, this is the happiest we've seen her in a year and a half. And the fact that she's capable to be this in love with someone else just after a year and a half after the fiance passed away, that shows that she is really in it for love and that she really has this connection with Tim.
Right.
And I just thought the whole thing was it really showed that Tim does bring out the best in her.
Yeah, I've really loved her throughout this entire experience. And even when we were saying, you know, we hope that she just starts building on her future as opposed to, you know, bringing Tim into her past, I think that she's really done that. And she's really she's blossomed into a beautiful butterfly.
For sure.
It's been really nice to see her go through this experience.
And then they kiss.
And just be so happy. And you little liar, Sarah, you. Making him wait until the very end, which fell through. But I don't blame you because in that kind of situation,
it works.
How do you not, you know? So Haley ended up getting sent home. Sarah and Jenna were saved. They're going on to next week. But let's move on to Ernesto really quickly. We're not going to have time, unfortunately, to discuss all of the dates. But Shandy's family was in Florissant, Missouri.
Yep.
I think I might be pronouncing that wrong. Kristen's family was in Bryan, Texas. And he went to Puerto Rico to see Elba's family.
Yes.
Which was kind of huge.
We got to see her real comfortable with her family. That was nice.
But the biggest thing here, we'll say what, you know, you guys I'm sure have seen the dates because you watched the show with us. But when he picked Shandy to not go into the garden, she went up to the scoreboard or whatever their title is for that. And Kristen and Elba went down to the garden. And I was really kind of on the fence. I was like, I think Kristen had a great date with him. He seemed really comfortable with her family, but Elba's been a front runner this entire time. So he pulled Kristen aside, was like, can I talk to you? And then totally starts the whole breakup speech. He's like, you know, you're great. And then you hear a but.
Yeah.
And you just see Kristen kind of like squirm, like, please don't cry. Like, no, I'm happy for you. It's okay. 'Cause she's such a sweetheart. And then he goes over to Elba, giving us the impression that she's going up in the elevator with him and says the same thing to her.
But
Yeah, and she didn't take it very well.
No.
I mean, what we got to see of it, it was okay, but she gave the rosary back.
I don't want your mother's rosary anymore.
Yeah, she was like, you're going to need this more than I do. But so for us as a viewer to be like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so good when he goes up in the elevator. It gives me kind of chills going back and talking about it. I mean, he comes up, you see Ben's reaction first, and everyone's just like, what? And then they go to Shandy, and she is just so taken back. It's the cutest thing.
The cutest thing. I actually like rewound it and watched it 3 or 4 times.
I know. It was perfect. It was honestly a perfect moment that I hope that they're so happy with.
Yeah.
And then to top it all off, not only does he pick Shandy, he climbs the scoreboard. Like, how many feet up into the air.
Grabs her.
Yeah, and just such a fairy tale happy ending. Just made my heart like swoon.
If only something like that happens to me.
I know. I mean, it is reality TV, but it happens in real life because we know that these people aren't stars. So
perfect.
We're so happy for Ernesto and Shandy. He found love.
Yes.
And next week, let's move on to some quick predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, Jess. Ben's ladies. Angela or Allie?
Angela, 100%.
I think Angela too. There's something, I love Allie. She's so sweet and she's so endearing, but there's something about Angela that I think he was just so attracted to that he's not going to be able to walk away from.
Well, honestly, I've thought Angela since like the second or third episode.
I know, we've loved her.
I've loved her.
Some of the girls have felt differently, but you and I have been Team Angela.
I just think that her and Ben Ben and Allie are great, but I just think that there's something between Angela and Ben that's beyond obvious for me that they're perfect for each other.
Yeah. What about Tim, Sarah or Jenna?
I don't know. I like Sarah because I feel like there's more depth, but so I say Sarah.
I say Sarah too.
Yeah.
I think Jenna would be if he was just a little younger, hasn't done the marriage thing, but where he wants to go in life. I see Sarah going all the way with him. Make sure that you guys tune in with us next week because we have the big finale episode. We'll try to get some special guests in here as well.
And hopefully we'll have all four of us together.
Yeah, we'll get the team back together. So make sure you guys tune in. But in the meantime, Jess, how can people get in touch with you?
You guys can find me at Sika Carroll, SICA-CARROLL.
And you guys can follow me on Twitter as well at Samantha_Laich, LAICH. Follow all of us here at AfterBuzz at AfterBuzz TV on Twitter as well. And we will see you next Sunday at 9.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.